Hello again from deep in the woods. This is the Teaching from the Woods series on anatomy. Very exciting. So, today we're going to be talking about the kidney. The kidney, you have two of them, very conveniently. They are both located in the lower back region, right in there. Actually, outside of the abdominal cavity, but inside of the muscles. They're kind of their own thing hanging out there. They have to be out there because that's where the aorta is. The aorta is going to be bringing blood from the heart down into where the kidneys are. The kidney's job is to filter, clean out the blood, right? That's what it does. It gets rid of all the yucky stuff so that your blood is clean, and that's a good thing to have. Nice clean blood, right? So when the blood comes down through the aorta, it's going to get pumped through the renal arteries. It's going to get pumped into the kidney. Now, the kidneys themselves are not just big fat organs that are like sponges that clean everything out. That's not how they work. The kidneys themselves, each of them actually contain about 1 million small little microscopic units called the nephron. The nephron is where everything happens inside of the kidney. Okay? Now, the nephron is shaped like this. That's your nephron right there. I'll explain to you what I mean. Okay? As the blood comes in from the outside, it's going to come in through blood vessels, and it's going to get pumped into a little tight ball of capillaries and things called the glomerulus. The glomerulus. And what's going to happen is as the blood goes in there, the blood pressure increases dramatically inside of that, and it forces everything that's in the blood except the blood cells and all that, it forces it out into this little cup-like shape that surrounds the glomerulus, and that cup-like thing is called the Bowman's capsule. And that Bowman's capsule is then going to take all of that stuff that just came out of the blood. That's all the good stuff too, not just the bad stuff. It's all the good stuff too. It's going to take all that out, and it's going to run it through what's called the proximal convoluted tubule. That's nerd for the twisty tube that is close to the Bowman's capsule. It'll run it through all that, down through what's called the loop of Henle, because Henle discovered it, and then back up through what's called the distal convoluted tubule, also known as the twisty curvy tube that's far away from the Bowman's capsule. And from there, it's going to get captured into a collecting tube, a collecting duct that drains all of that filtrate down into what's called the renal pelvis. That's the middle of the kidney. And there it collects, goes down through the ureters. The ureters connect the kidney with the bladder. The bladder's right here in the front, and it's going to store the filtrated material until such time as it's appropriate to discard. So that is what the bladder does. Okay, so the organs for this organ system, the renal system, are actually really simple. You have the two kidneys, you have the ureters, you have the bladder, and then you have the urethra. The urethra is the tube through which the urine and all that that's collected drains from the body. Okay, by the way, if you see a strange cat running around behind me, that's because there's a strange cat running around behind me. That's Indy. That's my cat Indy, and he's out here to protect me in the deep dark woods. So Vader is sitting right over there. He's on the other side of the camera, also trying to protect me out here in the deep dark woods. They follow me around whenever I go in the woods. It's really kind of cute and very sweet. Anyway, go away, Indy. I'm teaching. All right. Back to where I was. So you have the blood that comes in through the glomerulus, gets pushed, all the stuff gets pushed out that the blood is carrying, gets all trapped inside of the Bowman's capsule, down through the proximal convoluted tubule, the loop of Henle, back up through the distal convoluted tubule, and everything drains down into the renal pelvis, where it gets collected and put into the ureter. From the ureter, it gets drained down into the bladder, and there it is stored until you can go to the bathroom appropriately. And then the bladder is drained through the urethra, and that's the tube that exits the body. Okay, so what's happening inside of this? The nephron, and again, you've got 1 million of them in each kidney. You only need about 500,000 of them to have a normal life. But you got 1 million of them in each that allows you to share a kidney if you want to. Hello, you need a kidney? I give you a kidney. Here is mine. It's very good. Yes, it's a good kidney. All right, so if you get a chance to donate a kidney, you can do it. Why? Because you only need half of one for a normal life. So it's almost like God gave you two so that, you know, like Jesus said, you know, if you have 2 cloaks, share one with someone that doesn't have one. And so we can do that too, only with our organs, just the kidneys. And then don't try it with the heart. The kidneys, that'll work. All right, so inside of the nephron, there's something really cool that's going on. Remember I said that everything gets squeezed out of the blood and gets collected in that nephron. And I mean everything. That means all the good stuff too. But as the blood, or as all that filtrate comes out and gets circulated down through the curvy tubes and the loop of Henle and the other curvy tube, as it's going through all that, those tubes are surrounded by capillaries. And those capillaries, their job is to suck back up everything that your body needs. So if your body needs some sugar, then all of the sugar is going to be drawn back up from that filtrate and put back into the blood. If your body needs certain vitamins, then all those vitamins are going to be drawn back up and put back into the blood. Your body doesn't need things like some of the toxins that are produced, like the urea that is produced whenever your liver breaks down, whenever you digest proteins, you get uric acid and it has to be condensed into urea, and then you dilute it into urine. That's where we get that name from, right? And all that is going on inside of the nephron. So your body is eliminating all the bad stuff. It's not taking it back in, but all the things that your body needs that the blood has to carry, all that is getting drawn back into the blood through the capillaries that are surrounding all of those tubules. So all the good stuff, even though it gets filtrated out initially, captured by the Bowman's capsule, it will get put back into the blood because you need it. Up to a point. See, you can have too much of a good thing in your blood. Your body knows that. So your body regulates even the good things in your blood. So some of the vitamins and minerals and things like that you take, if they're in excess of what your body needs, your body will dump them through the urine anyway. That is why if you take a multivitamin first thing in the morning, usually about mid-morning when you go to the restroom, you have that neon yellow urine, that like laser beam urine. That's the most expensive urine of the day because it is filled with all kinds of vitamins and minerals and all kinds of things that your body has in excess now, so it's getting rid of them. And that's why that happens. So your kidneys, you've got 2 of them. They will drain through the ureters down to the bladder, the urinary bladder. You have 1 of those. When that gets too large, your body will trigger, hey, it's time to get rid of this. And then you will go to an appropriate place and the bladder will drain through the urethra and the urine will exit out of the body. The functional units of those kidneys, though, are called the nephrons. You've got about 1 million of them in each kidney, and each of those nephrons has a Bowman's capsule and distal or proximal and distal convoluted tubule and a loop of Henle. Those tubes are all surrounded by capillaries that reabsorb the good stuff that your kidney is filtering out, and all the bad stuff stays in the filtrate and gets removed through the urine. And that's the magic of the kidney.